Alright, so today we are going to be discussing wind and air pressure. The first topic I will go over is how wind is formed. As you can see, wind is caused by differences in air pressure, which is also called pressure gradient. Other factors that affect wind is the Coriolis effect and friction, and I'll go over that on the next slide. But in this picture, it kind of depicts how wind is kind of created and formed. The Coriolis effect is pretty cool to me. It's the power of Earth's spin to turn flowing air, meaning in the northern hemisphere, things that are aimed will end up more to the right. In the southern hemisphere, things will move to the left of which they are aimed. So, as you can see, if you aim somewhere, it's going to end up to the right of it in the northern hemisphere, and if you're aiming somewhere in the southern hemisphere, it's going to veer more towards the left. So I thought that was pretty interesting to share. Friction is the last thing that impacts wind. As you can see, if there's some type of obstacle or usually a building that's in the way, when the wind blows towards anything in the way, it will have to go through a change in direction, whether the wind rises over it, goes below it, or around it. The obstacle in the way is forcing the wind to go into a different direction. This can also decrease the Coriolis deflection and acceleration. So this will definitely slow down the wind a bit and make it a little more gentle. This next slide, I'll go over air pressure and the circulation of it. Rising air creates the circulation cell. The air rises and cools at high temperatures and then moves outwards towards the poles and then descends back to the surface. When it gets around 6 to 9 miles above Earth's surface, it flows away from the equator towards the poles. When the air cools, it flows back towards the equator and then it warms again, which is also known as convection. Hot air is less dense than cold air. This is a picture of what our general circulation looks like in the atmosphere. How does circulation affect the climate? Well, rising and sinking air influence the climate of the region. It is one of the key components of climate because it responds to the temperature and humidity gradients, and it also helps determine by transporting energy and moisture. As you can see, there are different circulations. So our high pressure moves clockwise, and our low pressure rotates counterclockwise.